The recording now. Okay, so you are welcome to the class once again. So we'll start on time and then we can see what we can cover today. So we stopped here, and that's things that I gave you. So we'll be discussing this. You'll be the one that will be talking to me today, and then I will just be, keeping in one or two things, and then see how we can trash this out. Okay, so let me give it to you. So you can start, Anolua.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, and how are you today?
Fine, sir. Thank you.
Oh,
So the assignment given was on the roles, the function, the advantages and disadvantages of committee. So for committee, you can say a committee is a group of people that are appointed to either deliberate, make decisions, or carry out specific functions on behalf of an organization. Now, the
okay,
roles
that's
of
correct.
now they have several roles. They have advisory roles. They have the role of making decisions. They have supervisory role. They have the role to also coordinate and the likes.
Okay.
Then the advantages of the committee. Likewise, they also have several advantages like collective. They make decisions that benefit. Their decisions are quite diverse in knowledge and experience, since they are a group of people that are skilled in their own way. It also helps in group discussion and thereby help to reduce the risk of being biased or trying to make hasty decisions. So they have better judgment when it comes to their decision making. Also, their responsibility is distributed amongst their members. It is not restricted to a person. So we can
But
say
that
that they have
the
shared
advantages,
responsibility.
of the committee, you didn't actually go into details. Talk more about the advantages of the committees in an organization. You know, that's a key area where questions can come in. So let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages. Then we'll now move gradually, to other committees.
Okay, sir. I was trying
Okay, sorry,
to
before you continue, I've been seeing people trying to get into this waiting room. I saw one gifty. I admitted, but I didn't see it again. Then I'm seeing
okay,
Galaxy
yes,
A15.
sir.
Pardon? I'm seeing Galaxy A15. So who is that person? And should we admit or not before
Yes,
we
I'm
continue?
aware that somebody with that name gift is to
Okay.
join this class. So maybe that's the person, sir.
Okay. So let's admit and then we ask. If not, we'll bounce him out. Hello? Hello? I think the network around that area is not good because I've admitted him, but keep saying joining, joining. So okay, let's
Maybe
continue.
you can readmit the person because I met the person too this morning.
Okay, so you're saying joining, so I don't know. I've already admitted him. So Okay, so go ahead. Let's continue.
So the advantages of a committee, like I was trying to explain their specialization. It involves the members in a committee, their expertise in their area of specialization. So when a group of expertise come together, people that are specialized come together. So it is more of they are more educated and experienced in their various fields. So that's one of the advantages of a committee. People that are specialized in their various fields, their various disciplines, they come together to form a committee. So in that way, you get to relate with people in different fields and they get to contribute their own quota to the group.
Okay, that's correct. So go on.
Also, they promote in a committee, they have a better way of an advantage of communicating better. And therefore, when communication is effective, definitely mis mismanagement or disagreement will be minimal in such a group. Another advantage
Okay,
is
go on.
another advantage I could say is they can share their responsibility. There's shared responsibility in a community. So their responsibility is distributed amongst their members. It also promotes participation and fairness in decision making.
Awesome. That's good. Yeah, okay.
Then their decisions.
Hello. Yeah, sorry, before you continue, I think she has entered the room now. Hello,
Good morning,
Galaxy
sir.
A15. Good morning, how are you?
Good
Please
morning, doctor.
identify yourself. Who is this, please?
Okay, this is one of your runaway students.
Okay, what's the name, ma?
This is Madam Gift.
Gift, oh, Madam Gift. Okay, yeah, well,
Yes.
I saw one
Yes,
gift
sir.
before, then that one went off, then I now saw another Galaxy again. I said, what's going on?
Okay.
Okay, so
The one.
you really missed quite a lot, but not really
Yes, sir.
much. So you will
Mm.
need to relate with Anolua. So at least you can.
Okay, I listened to the recordings to voice
Aha,
to
good. Okay, that's fine.
I listened,
So
but you
that
know
means you've
the
been.
se- the series of the topics, how they come one after the other is what.
Awesome, awesome. That's good.
Mhm.
So that means you can always follow us in the discussion there. Okay, so we are discussing
No
committee.
rules, sir.
We are discussing committee today. So and it's more or less like an assignment. So that's why Anolu is discussing it with me, so that we can
Okay,
understand
sir.
better and see from different perspectives. So presently, we are discussing the advantages of committees in an organization. Okay, so Anolu, please
Okay.
go ahead.
So likewise, another advantage is that in a committee there is team spirit because since it involves several individuals working together to achieve a common goal. So it encourages cooperation, it encourages collaboration amongst members.
Sure, that
Hereby,
thing.
it mutual respect amongst them, and the likes.
Okay.
I think
What
that's
about
all.
the team spirit? What about promoting
I just
communication?
spoke on team spirit, sir.
Yes, better communication. You know.
Yes.
So those are the advantages. So what are the possible disadvantages that can happen in committees like that?
They lack secrecy.
Okay.
Also, their decision-making process can
Can
be
you
delayed.
expatiate further on that lack of secrecy? Can you expatiate what exactly does that mean?
Like in a committee rather, it involves a large number of people from different specialization from different classes. So them coming together, it is not possible for the organization to be secretive in their way of organizing the business, unlike in a sole proprietorship that it's just an individual. The decision making, the control, and the likes is just done by that individual. But in a committee now, everything is coming together, so there's no secrecy in such organization, in such group.
Okay, so go ahead.
There's also delayed decision making because everybody's from a different field, different specialty. So some people can be deciding to go this way, while some are deciding to go the other way. So they may not be.
Because of the perspective, they are seeing
Yes,
things. So this
yes,
one
yes.
we see it as a tech person. This one we see it as. What did you say, ma?
That's the individual ideology. That's the individual perception and opinions. So I was saying, I'm trying to connect.
Okay. Yeah, correct. Yeah. Because they have different orientation, and this is usually based on their experiences and then maybe their areas of learning. So that could actually affect decision making, such that everybody will have to come up with different things, and then they need to match them together. Okay, so go ahead.
Another disadvantage is lack of accountability, because since every individual is coming together to make decision, definitely a person cannot be accountable for the wrong decision that has been made. So you cannot blame that wrong decision on a particular person, because there's nobody to actually hold responsibility for it.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other one?
And that disadvantage is their decisions making can also be compromised. It could be watered down, in the sense that you don't want to dissatisfy anyone. You are just trying to satisfy everyone. So instead of making firm decision, you are trying to suit everyone. So compromise decisions can occur in such organization.
Awesome. Okay. What about the possibility of conflict because of their inability to actually reach a compromise or definitive decision?
Conflict of interest.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, I agree, sir.
Okay, so that's fine. So let's look at the next one, which is audit committee. So talk to me about the audit committee. What is their function? What exactly did they do? And then let's look at maybe if they have advantages and disadvantages as well. So can go ahead.
For audit committee, we said there are a group of board members that are responsible for overseeing an organization, and maybe their financial reports, their internal control, their risk management, and the likes. So majorly what they do is to ensure that the financial statement of an organization is accurate, and they are also conducted, they audit independently. Yeah.
Independently,
Yes, sir.
in an organization. I'm not talking of
Like their
external
audit,
auditors.
like their audit, Like when they
Okay.
audit,
But is he independent? Do you think he's going to be independent?
I feel that auditing should be independent because in order not to, we are trying to audit their financial statements.
I agree with you. That's the way it should be. But in natural sense, when you have audit committee in an organization, they still
Indirectly, some of their
talk with
meeting,
the management, and then
yes,
they are also responsible to the chief executive officer. So that's the reason why that will not work in an organization.
very
So they don't
independent,
make
yes.
decisions independently. You understand?
Mm-mm.
And that's why you see that most of them, especially if you have an internal auditor, I've worked in that capacity before. And I can tell you what I faced during those periods. It's not something that is very, very palatable at all.
And at the end of the day,
There are
her
some things
report
you
is
will
not
find
reached
out. Who is
in the
talking?
main office.
Hello?
Very independent. Mm.
Okay, so as I was saying, so the challenge is that the audit committee within an organization will still have to uh, make a recourse, to the CEO. And so at
Yes.
times their decision might be,
And what
altered
CEO
sort of.
will is what will stand, not what the auditor has audited.
So, and that's the reason why you see that most times they used to change the financial statement in an organization, even with the knowledge of the auditor. Because
Yes.
the auditors will be the internal auditors, and then they will be part of the audit committee. And so
Yes.
that's the challenge in an organization. But if it's an external auditor now, they work independently, and nobody is going to challenge them and all that. So,
Not for
and,
government.
okay, so let's look
They
at.
still pay, they still compromise. Yeah.
We can't hear you clearly, man. What are you saying?
But what I'm saying, I said even external auditor, because as a civil servant, you notice that when external auditors are brought to the office for auditing,
Mm-hmm.
at the long run, you see that they are still compromised.
They are still compromised.
Yes.
I agree with
As
you.
a
Let me share
yes.
one experience with you, man. That was the time I was working in an hospital as an internal auditor. And we used to have one external auditor that comes around to come and audit the account and all that. And there are some things I've been finding that I've been, looking at. Okay, these things are not right, especially in the
No, right,
accounts
yes.
department. And I was pointing it out to the CMDs at that time. And so that continues and all that until when the FIRS, Federal Inland Revenue Service, and said that they are coming to come and audit us. And at that point, the external auditor was there, and what happened? They just called me, and they said that's to the to the general manager's
CM,
office. So they said that the general manager wants to see me. So I went there, and when I met him, I saw the external auditor. I know the man very well, so I greeted him too. And then they said I should sit down. So I sat down. And then they said, okay, that there's a reason why they called me. That the FIRS is coming to come and audit the books and all of that. If they uh, come around and then they see me, they ask me questions, that I should not say anything. I should just keep quiet. I should not talk to them. That they know that I've been raising some issues before, but I should not just talk about it. I should just keep quiet.
and your fellow auditor is there
Yes, now it was the external
as
auditor
an
that
external
even,
auditor.
and then the external auditor now raised the issue and now said, that's true, so we need to make sure
Uh-huh.
that things are okay because
Uh-huh.
it's even the external auditor that is even supporting the changing of the books and everything, you know.
Now,
So
the ethics of
so
that profession
I
now
agree
is
with
not
you.
putting it into consideration. The ethics
I
of
agree.
auditing is no longer putting
Yeah.
it into consideration.
So I agree with you that it's possible that even the external auditor can be compromised. So if the
Yes.
external auditor can be compromised, What about the internal auditor? So it's
Uh-huh.
as if we are just playing there,
Yes.
So okay, so I don't know. Let's continue.
Please, regarding this independency of a thing, I have a question. Are
Okay,
we
please go
saying
ahead.
that because it's the norm, it should be accepted? I feel that audit committee should still be independent,
Mm,
even though that is not what it is. I still feel that they
mm.
should audit independently and not, even though in reality it is not what it is, but that's what is expected of it to be, that they should audit an organization independently. I want you to
And I agree with
elaborate
I
if
agree with you.
you
When
agreed.
it comes to auditing or the financial statement of an organization, I agree with you that the external auditor should audit independently.
What about the internal auditors?
But internal auditor cannot audit independently. You
And
understand?
you
It's
now
okay.
see the
It's okay
external
within the
auditor now
organization. Let
suppressing
me
the,
explain if you
instead of
understand what I'm
fighting for
saying
the
now.
external
Look at
auditor,
it
is
in this
now
perspective. Now,
compromising with the organization
the internal auditor is still answerable
to the
to the chief
organization, the CEO.
executive officer. And then
Yes.
the organization is still paying his salary. So at that point, unless he wants to lose his job.
Okay, so
And
doctor, sorry to cut you, sir.
okay, man.
I have a colleague
Okay,
who is an auditor, and
okay,
she has a director who is her boss in my office. They
okay,
will go for outside auditing, and she will bring her reports. When
mhm,
she brings her reports, tender this to the boss. The boss will look at the report and tell her to keep it. Then when she will see the director will now make another report now based on what the permanent secretary has instructed. So in this issue, there is nothing you can do when it comes to your professional ethics as per doing the right thing. You will be frustrated. I am talking as a civil servant. There are times you want to do your job, that this is how my job is being done.
mhm.
And at the end of the day, like what you said now, is either you follow or you lose the job. And many of us don't want to lose the job. Then we drop our
Thank you
ethics,
for that.
the
Thank you for
ethics
that
of our
example.
profession.
Yeah, thank you for that example. Do you know one thing, Anoloa? Uh, in actual sense, you want to look at it and say, oh, it's my profession. I'm a professional and I must act this way. I must do things in the right way. But in actual sense, it doesn't work that way in practice. By the time you start practicing now, you understand what I'm talking about. Hmm?
Doctor,
Uh,
doctor, this
yes,
is
sir.
John. Can I make a comment?
Okay, please go ahead, sir.
I think what Anolua is saying is that an audit committee, if I'm not wrong, you can confirm, Madam Anu, that audit committee is expected to be independent in
Yes.
their review. Is that what you are saying?
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes, they are
the
expected.
the audit
Okay, go
committee
ahead, sir.
The audit committee, my answer is that the audit committee is expected, yes, to be independent in their review because there are different interests that are involved in audit committee. So many a times, the audit committee are independent because of the fact that there are checks and balances among themselves. There are those that we want to compromise. There are those that we not want to compromise amongst the audit committee. And that is why when an external or internal auditor prepares his a report, the audit committee of that organization has the right to review it. But many a times, you will notice that the audit committees are also in the caprices of the MD, that's the person managing the company. And most of them takes instruction. But even at that, there are still some audit committees that are independent in what they do, in the review. even if an external auditor compromises, because there is possibility of internal and external auditor to compromise. There are, because like doctor said, some of them want to keep their job. I'm an auditor. I've been auditing for over 28 years now. So I understand. The only thing is that if you want to do your job, you might not get the job next year. You will do your job now, but you might not get it next year. You understand?
You just nailed it. You just nailed it on the head, sir.
You might not get it. It has happened to me several times. They've taken several jobs that I did 3 years. They're ongoing, and it was beautiful. But they just took it and gave it to somebody because he could compromise. And the MD was not concerned. Even when I tried to assist him and make sure that his things are working fine. You can imagine a company that has directors a debit in the director's current account. A doctor, you know what I'm talking about. How can you have a debit of 280
in the directors?
In the director's current account that is supposed to be directors giving the company money, and it's supposed to be a credit. It's supposed to be the company that is owing the director. What a director is a director account is showing a debit of 280 million, and they will say you should just spot it into receivables. And me, I say no. I said no. I want to know the makeup of that 280 million. Who are those that collected it? And it was amongst the accountants and the directors. The MD doesn't know about it. Along the line, it is saying the MD that will depend on those, the accountant, the finance manager, to now say, get me an auditor. So when they got another auditor, they got S.I. Young. S.I. Young came and said they will qualify the account. They called me. I told them, I don't know anything. I didn't want to tell them anything. Let them find out.
They should do their job.
So they collected, initially they have collected 10 million for a job that I was doing for 3 million. They collected the initial amount, 10 million, and said they can't do it unless they will qualify. The guy had to resign.
You see? So
the accountant
that's the challenge.
You see? So at the end of the day, I lost it because they compromise among themselves, those directors. They compromise among themselves. And that is the way it is. But they are expected to be independent and be check and balances to internal and external auditors. So the disadvantage is when they compromise. When they compromise, things will not work the way it's supposed to work. But the ethics are clean and clear. Or internal auditor does not have any say. It is not, internal auditor is not independent. Because he reports to his boss.
Yes. So is it clear now? Is it clear now, Nolua? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So I agree with you. Auditors are expected, even the committee, everybody are expected to, to operate independently. But in practice, it doesn't work that way. So it doesn't work that way at all. So let's go on. So other functions that you've been able to identify.
Functions of audit committee is that is to audit, to review a company's financial statement before they are approved by the board and before they get published. And the financial statement itself, the preparation of that financial statement must be in accordance with the IFRS, and they must comply with their regulations.
Is it only FIRS? Most times companies operate with
other account standards.
Corporate, so companies use CAMA, and the recent one I think is 2024, so thereabout. So that's the way it operates. You must follow the Company and Allied Matters Act. So that is the requirement. The FIRS might say, okay, so their own is just to collect their own tax, and then maybe the tax laws are also available. So you must follow the tax laws as well. So that's the essence of trying to collect, the tax and all that. So let me give room to Madam Gift to also give us one of the functions, so maybe like two functions of the audit committee, so that at least we can get her engaged also in this discussion.
Okay. I think one of their functions is the analysis of the financial activities of an organization. Hello,
When you
sir.
say analysis of a financial activity, what exactly are you talking about?
Okay, the modes of operation in the organization, the financial operation.
Auditors are not concerned about the operations in the organization.
No, what I'm saying, how like determining in an organization the operations, the financial activity that happened is what they are going to audit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes, that's the
So,
point I'm trying to
so
make,
they
sir.
more or less like they oversee
See,
the
yes, they are,
financial activity,
yes, yes,
just to see what is going on. Okay,
what
are
is,
you
yes,
spending the actual
yes, that's my
amount and
point,
all that?
sir.
So they oversee those things, the activities,
Yes, sir.
and then they
Yes, sir.
put checks and balances.
Balances, yes.
Yes, to make sure that things are actually working well. Okay,
And
then also,
monitoring and
which other one? What
evaluation.
about in terms of filing? If they want to file to the FRS, because you mentioned FRS now, they will need to file for tax now. So, can you tell me something about that?
Mm, mm, mm. Not really, sir, for now.
Okay,
I
I know,
try to
Lua, you
wait
want
to
to
be
say
brief.
something about that? The function of auditors in reviewing, financial statements, especially when it comes to filing, when they are
Fine,
ready to file, for
fine.
tax payment.
Tax returns, okay.
Tax returns, yes.
Mm,
So, Anolua, let me hear you.
mm.
In terms of filing, for instance, when an auditor wants to file in terms of tax return, it should be done according to accounting standard. It should meet the legal and the regulatory requirements.
Okay.
And yeah, majorly, yes.
Is it the regulatory? I think there is also tax laws. What we need to actually understand in this thing is that each of these things have the laws that you have to follow. When you are preparing financial statements and all that, then you can say, okay, the financial, regulations and all that, international regulations, we follow it, maybe, you know. But when it comes to paying of tax, you look at the tax laws, and all that. The tax standards already there. There's a certain percentage you need to pay, and then there's a way procedure when it comes to filing. There are some forms that are expected that you should fill, at this time. So that's the way it is. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm with you.
Give me
Hello, sir.
1 minute. Yes, just give me 1 minute. I have somebody at my gate. Let me just quickly open, then I'll come back. Just 1 minute.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I'm back. Okay, so let's
Welcome.
continue. Thank you. Okay, so what about providing recommendations? Have you thought about that? Do they have the right to recommend to the management, the auditor, the audit committee?
Yes, I think they have the right, sir.
Okay, so if they have the right, what are the things that you think
After
might likely
after
recommend?
they might recommend the accounting. Oh, pardon me, I be JJC for now.
Yeah, it's
I'm
okay.
trying
Just at
to
least it's good for us to understand where
wake
you
up
are,
my
then you
sleeping
can.
brain.
Okay.
Okay, the way the accountants, if they are not really running the accounts with the financial standard or with the accounting standard, they can propose to the organizations the right way or the normal process or procedure that it will be done so that they can actually achieve the aims and objective of the organization.
But when you talk of recommendation, is after the financial statement has been reviewed,
Statement.
and then they
Yes, sir.
have a report. Usually we have the audit committee report.
Report.
So
Yes, sir.
yeah, so that audit committee report, inside it, they can make recommendation based on based on their findings.
Findings. Yes, sir.
Yes, on their findings in the financial statement, and say, okay, this happened, and this you have been the best, and then they make sure that at least they recommend such that the organization can follow the best practices,
Yes, sir.
especially in financial reporting. So that's what, and then the work, in tandem with, the account department, so that at least things can work, very well. Hmm? You understand now? Okay,
Yes, sir.
so Anolua, you want to talk to us about the risk management and the internal control function of the audit committee. Anolua, are you there?
Oh, sorry, sir. I didn't know I was on mute.
Okay.
Based on the risk management and internal control, the audit committee, they can collaborate with maybe risk committees in order to minimize risks. Likewise, in order to maybe to address maybe operational, maybe compliance risks, maybe finance risks. So when they collaborate with such people, they minimize risks automatically. Then in terms of internal control, they can review a company's control system in order to effectively also reduce risks.
So in
Hello,
terms
sir.
of risk, what can you say? Yeah, I'm listening. In terms of risk, what can you say?
Yes, in terms of risks, I said that they can collaborate with maybe risks committee. Maybe there's a risk management system put in place in that organization. So when they collaborate with such with such group or with such committee, they tend to implement strategies that can help to reduce maybe financial risks, maybe operational risks, and the likes.
That's fine. Okay. So let's go on. Let's move on to the remuneration committee. Well, I don't know whether this actually happens in the organization, but I don't know. But let's talk about it. I hope you understand what remuneration means. So let's
Yes.
let's talk about it. Okay, so you can start. Talk to us about the remuneration committee and then their functions. What exactly do you understand by it? And what are the functions?
Like from the word remuneration committees, so they are more like a subcommittee that that are responsible for either deciding compensation packages for an organization, or maybe their executive directors, or maybe their senior managers, in order to
That's correct.
make turning their salary, maybe their bonus payment, maybe their retirement payment, and the likes.
Yeah, okay. That's correct. I want us to first of all discuss the function. Then we'll now talk about reality. How exactly does it operate? So let's talk about their functions. Just give us two and let Madam Gift also give us two functions for remuneration committee. Then we'll now talk about reality. What is operational in organizations? So I'm listening.
Their function is that they are transparent and they must be accountable, in the sense that sorry, sir. In the sense that the compensation that they have agreed to, that has been agreed upon, must be transparent, and everybody must know that, okay, this is the bonus that is entitled to so and so. This is your basic salary. For retirement, this is it, and such compensation should be made transparent. Everybody should know that this is how it is, and it should be followed.
Okay. Another one, another function.
Another function is that they help to design competitive compensation packages.
What
And
do you
what
mean
that
by that?
okay, well, what that means is that their compensation packages should be able to stand with other industries. Should be able to we should be able
Okay.
to
To meet industry
compare the
standards.
salary. Yeah, to compare them. That is it standing with other industries, not only our own organization. And then also, we should be able to say that this compensation, is it fair enough? Let me put it that way. Is it fair enough? And in doing such helps employee to also remain. You gain their loyalty on the long run.
Okay. Okay, so Madam Gift, give us two.
I think they determine the pay as the pay for the executive or for the hierarchy of an organization.
Is it only
They
executive?
determine, sir?
I said, is it only executive?
No, that's what the executives and the leader, the senior hierarchy, that's why I use hierarchy, the senior leadership of an organization.
Okay.
Because if you allow them, they can pay themselves anything they like. But remuneration, they are the one that will sit down and make analysis or prepare or talk about how they will be.
Okay.
Function is review of contract or review of appointment. I don't know because in terms of recruitment or employment or time, you can't hire more than you can pay. Can't
Okay.
hire more
So
than you can pay. So you
they
can.
make sure that they align the
I'm
company
listening, sir.
strategy, such that you don't overspend and you don't
Yes, sir.
uh,
Yes, yes.
you
You
don't
don't
give too much money
overspend
to
and
to the executives
things
and
that will
maybe
not bring value to the organization. or things that are not really needed for the years, or the number of people that are supposed to be job.
Okay, so that's fine. So let's now look at it now. This remuneration committee, are they also the one responsible for the remuneration of the staff? Let's ask that question. Are they the ones that are also responsible?
Yes.
I think so, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so if they are the one responsible, how, in what capacity did they come in?
And they have to determine the basic salary, like, and the bonus structures that
The salary structure, the design and the salary structure of the organization.
And salary structure. I agree with you. But in practice, in organizations, who do you think usually make this decision?
the employer.
How? How can employer? How? Who is the employer?
Shareholder.
No, the shareholder will not talk to you about salary. Oh yeah, go ahead, try more. The shareholders are only interested in you giving them their dividends, and then to make sure that the organization is running, perfectly well. Okay, go on. Who do you think is actually, because like most of the organizations that I've worked, I've not seen any remuneration committee. I don't think I've met any one of them. But there's somebody in the organization that is always
indirectly is
What did you say,
indirect.
ma'am?
They're indirect as a still like in my office, they are, but you don't see them coming and they don't bear this name that you're talking about. But they're indirectly work. Like this one that you're asking now. Human resource. In my office, I'm the schedule officer for the workforce. I'm for the workforce budget, which is formerly manpower planning in the federal civil service. So the human resource, in human resource department, in human resource, we have appointments, promotion, and discipline. So anything that concerns recruitment, anything that concerns employment,
compensation and all that. Thank you very much.
compensation, yeah.
That's where I'm going. So more or less like this function has been moved under the human resource department in alignment with what? With the CEO of the organization. Because the HR will say, okay, this is what is happening. And they've been able to look at it, okay, now industry standard, this is what we've been able to find out, and then we can pay this person so amount. Then the HR is going to make that recommendation to the CEO. And then the CEO might look at it and say, this industry is something is too much. Okay, let's reduce it. It's okay. I think we are bringing in the best talent. Okay, let's increase it. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Did you get a picture I'm trying to paint?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the most organizations do not have the remuneration committee. So I think the responsibility has been shifted to the human resource department. So these are some of the things that we need to take note, I know, especially when we are discussing all this. So let's go to the roles of the board members. The chairman. When we talk of board members, who are the board members? Who are the board members?
Chairman, train, managing director, executive director, and the like.
Yeah, let's make this thing interactive, please. Who are the board members?
The board members are
What are their roles?
the secretary, managing director, executive director, and the likes.
You didn't mention the chairman. Is the chairman not important?
Yes.
You mentioned.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's discuss it. So let's talk about the roles. So let's talk about.
Yes, sir.
The board member. So chairman, what exactly does the chairman do? And what are his power and authority? So let's go on.
They prepare board meeting.
Okay.
That's the chairman. They appoint the chairman can also appoint committee, like subcommittees.
Is it the chairman that used to appoint committee? Chairman can ratify, but the board member have to also agree before the appointment can be made. So, and usually the chairman presides over the board, at every meeting. So that one is expected. And the chairman also makes sure that it provides strategic vision, in organization. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then the board chairman also makes sure that is always working alongside with the CEO, because the CEO, we need to be briefing the board chairman. But in most organizations that have worked, the CEO is also the board chairman. In practice, have you seen that? Have you seen that before?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Most organizations, maybe it's Nigeria, the CEO of the organization is usually the board chairman. I don't know why it's like that, but usually the responsibility should be separated. But the CEO still goes ahead, to be the chairman and all that. It's not that it's wrong, but uh, that might not really allow for the proper oversee, eh, of the activities of the organization. So, besides that, the chairman also represents the company. It gives around, it talks about, activities, making maybe by the time they want to maybe make some announcements and all that are very crucial. The board chairman can actually make those announcements, unless it's delegated maybe to the CEO, because there are times the CEO also does that. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
So those are the possible functions of the board chairman. So now you mentioned secretary the other time when we were talking. So you want to tell me what are the functions of the company secretary?
They report. They record the maybe meetings of an organization during the minute of a meeting. They make records of it.
Okay, so I'm listening.
I said they record the minutes of a meeting, maybe during the meeting. So they make records of the meeting.
Okay, that's good. Mhm. What about their planning of the meeting?
They schedule the meeting, the agenda for the
Thank
meeting.
you. Most times they discuss with the board chairman, okay,
Yes,
what are
sir.
the agendas, what are these, what are.
Mm.
Yes. Okay. Any other function?
We go wake it up. Oh.
What about compliance oversight to make sure that everything is in accordance with the CAC regulation and all that? Do you understand what that means? Just to make sure that their, things are working well. And one thing I've realized in organizations is that the company secretaries are usually lawyers. Have you noticed that? Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So why is it that it's lawyers that are the company secretary? Why? And not just ordinary person? Have you asked yourself that question? It's because I mentioned this compliance
Because
oversight. That's the reason why I'm raising that issue. So why is it that companies have decided to use lawyers to be the company secretary?
I think because of their legal profession, they guide the organization aright
Okay.
because of their because of their profession. You know, as a layman, there are some decisions, there are some
Okay,
decisions
let
that
me help you out. Let me help you
help
out.
me out, sir.
You know,
Thank you,
in
sir.
organizations, there are so
Yes,
many
sir.
activities that organization
Mm.
actually, carry out. You know,
Alright, yeah. They
one
guide.
of it is, most times the organization will be like, okay, they want investors to come in.
Mhm.
You understand? To actually invest in that company. And so the CEO might not even know anything about anything investment or maybe any legal implication, for that.
Yes.
And so that's the main reason why most companies will decide that a lawyer should be the company secretary. So the lawyer will guide them and will be able to tell
Mm.
you, okay, these are the things that are going on, these are the things that, and then when the investors present documents, then the lawyer will be able to interpret it. Are we together?
Mm.
They'll be able to interpret it. So when they interpret it, then they can give, okay, the board members to understand, or even the CEO to understand. Are we together? So it's important to have lawyers as the company secretary so that such organization will not run into trouble.
Okay.
Are we together?
Yes,
They
sir.
will guide you accordingly and some other things, to actually do. And so what are the other functions that you think company secretary do?
Doctor, can I ask a question?
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
Can't the chartered those that are chartered secretaries and chartered accountants, can't they be secretaries too? At least we know some legal implications of business.
The
I
account.
understand where you are coming from, sir. Yeah,
Secretaries
they
are
can
also
be.
trained in
Yes, they
becoming
can be, but
it's not only lawyers.
their functions will still be limited. Like the company, the chartered accountant can be secretary, but in actual sense, there are still some things they will not understand, especially when it comes to legal implications or the decisions they will be making. The chartered secretaries can also try, but in actual sense, they still don't understand some of these implications. There are some companies that we have, maybe like all these old companies, they use chartered secretaries, and maybe some public organizations. You understand? But by the time you are moving to higher level, for example, like Dangote now, you will not go and employ chartered secretary to
Account
become the company
secretary.
secretary. Yes, to become the company secretary, because they are carrying out a lot of activities, a lot of decisions have to be made. They are exchanging documents, things are, and then they need somebody to actually read this and then interpret so that they can make decisions. You understand? So, you want to add something, sir?
I think you are correct. I agree with you.
Okay.
It's a question so that you can just clarify and you have clarified. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Okay. So, thank you very much, sir. Okay. So, any other thing? Hello?
I'm with
Sir,
you,
in
sir.
form of
Are we
question
together?
or yes, sir.
Okay. I'm listening, ma.
No, I was asking if it's in form of question or any other thing to add. No, it's okay.
I didn't get what you are trying to say.
Okay, you were asking, so I was trying to understand. Are you asking us to answer a question, or we
No,
should
no,
still
no, 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 no.
contribute?
No,
Okay, sir.
I just want a response from you. Okay, so now
Okay.
let's move to the managing director. Managing director, some organization will say managing director, some will say chief executive officer. So it depends. But most organizations use chief executive officer. But it's still more or less like the same thing. Hmm? But some managing director can also be under the chief executive officer. So it all depends on that organ, because I've seen some public organizations using managing director to actually be the, or maybe the executive director or whatever, to be the head of that organization. And the executive director might also be the same person who is the chief executive officer. But some organization might have that role separated, such that the CEO of an organization is actually different from the managing director. So I think it's something that we can always discuss. So let me hear from you. What's your own take on this before we continue? Hello, is my network not? Hello,
No, it's clear, sir.
say
You are
say my
trying to
network
crack
is
the
unstable.
brain.
Okay, so I want to hear from you. You know, did you hear my response? What I said?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
That some organization use managing director because that role is more or less like the same thing, the MD, and then maybe the CEO. Some will say executive director. You understand? So I'm asking that, what's your own take on this? Just chip in something. What do you think? Anolua.
Sir,
So I'm listening.
what do I think concerning an organization having a managing director and also having a CEO?
Yes, that's if you have it separated. You know, the most times the MD will also be the CEO in the organization. But we have some organization whereby they are separated. We have, you know, you can have maybe the executive director, and then you can have, you know, the CEO in the organization. You know, and it's like that. So I just wanted to just discuss around this. Let's hear. Let me hear your what you are thinking.
Ah, no.
You don't know. Okay, so Madam, say something.
Okay, in my own understanding, like in an initiator, like the CEO being an initiator of the business, we want to have separation of power or separation of activities, whereby he will not want only him to do the job. He will now employ someone, make the person the managing director, while he is the CEO. In
That's
my
good.
own understanding, some people might some
Yeah,
people might
I've
want to
seen
use
that
as
before,
me
where we
being
have
the
the
CEO.
CEO, yes,
Yes,
and
I
they will
can't
now
be
employ
able
the
to
managing
oversee
director.
the activity,
Mm-hmm.
the activities of the organization. So he will bring someone that will be the second in position, make him the managing director to
Mm-hmm.
oversee some part of the activity. Delegation of power in this instance now. You do this, I do that. So the managing director too, under his own, will get another director, a sub-director that can be able. So that's where I see.
Okay, so what's the
Don't know if
difference between the managing director and the executive director?
okay. In my own understanding, they have different activities to perform.
Okay.
That to me, the activity of the CEO might supersede the activity of the managing, yes, of the managing director. And the CEO might have the final say, his authority over the staff, over the money. I don't know how to put it this time.
Mm.
I think the staff might be answerable to the CEO, to the managing director, then the managing director to the CEO. So, and the CEO now gives orders to the managing director to extend it to the other staff.
Okay. Yeah,
In my
I agree
own.
with you. Well, you didn't answer my question. I was trying to ask you that what's the difference between the managing director and the
The
executive
difference
director.
between
I've heard of all these, terminologies in most places that I've worked.
Different.
And so you need to be able to differentiate between
get
each of them so
between
that you know what exactly each of them is doing, and then you know
doing.
their function in an organization. So that's what I'm asking. So I know why you should go for that. What's the difference between a managing director and an executive director?
So for me, the head of the managing director is like head of management, while the executive director is just like a board member that has an executive role, something like that.
Can you come
So,
again? What did you say?
like I said, managing
And the
director
executive.
is like the head
Okay.
of management. That like
Go
is
ahead.
the
I'm listening.
has the broad, like the overall authority.
Mm-hmm.
But the executive director is just a board member
Board member.
and the authority is limited.
Executive director cannot be a board member. Executive, that's the name. Is executive is working in that organization. It's more or less like a
Eh,
senior level person in the organization. So, in other words, when you have the way it works is this: when you have a CEO, are we together? And let's say the CEO
Yes,
has
sir.
decided to choose the managing director, and then the managing director comes immediately after the CEO. But if it's not like that in an organization, that means the CEO will just be the CEO and there's no managing director in the organization. Now, under the CEO, we have different directors. These ones are the ones we call the executive directors. They are the top, they are at the senior level in that organization. And they are also responsible for the management and the leadership of every operation and activities in that organization. So you see that by the time you are even registering your company with the CAC, they will ask you, who are the directors in this organization? You must provide the list of directors. So these directors they're asking from are likely to, they are more or less like the executive directors in that organization. So you have directors. So those directors are now the one that will make sure that all the activities are going on and order. And usually they report to the CEO. If there's MD, they report to the MD, while the MD reports to the CEO and the CEO reports to the board members. So an executive director is not a member of the board, is under the chief executive officer. Is that clear?
no, sir.
It's not clear. Okay, let me
Yes,
come
sir.
again. Let me come again. Now, look at it this way. We have the board. That's where we are talking of organizational chart. We discussed that initially. Now,
Yes, sir.
at the top, we have the board. The board is the highest part in the organization. After the board, then we have the CEO. The CEO reports to the board. And remember, I told you before, I said usually the CEO is also the chairman of the board. So more or less like you also have the CEO who is also the chairman of the board. So in that case, so more or less like the CEO is the one that is handling, that has those functions, those two functions. But under the CEO, we said the CEO might decide, like Madam Gift said, that the CEO can decide and say, oh, in order to relieve himself of some activities of some function, he might employ the MD, which we call the managing director. So this managing director oversees the operational activity of the organization. Are we together? Now the MD, under the MD, the MD will now, make sure that there are other things that are actually happening. If the CEO does not employ the MD, that means the CEO will just, under the CEO, we just have other directors. Is it clear? Don't confuse yourself. So let's say we are removing the MD now. So after the board, you have the CEO. After the CEO, you have the directors. And these directors are the one we call the executive directors. Are we together?
Sir, can I ask you a question?
Please go ahead.
Are you saying, for example, in a company where we have finance department, marketing department, sales department, that a managing director is in charge of all those departments, whereas
No,
the
it's not like that. The MD, the managing director, is at the ECLM. Under the MD,
Yes.
you will now have other people under that, like we have the CFO. We call it the Chief Financial Officer. The CFO will take care of the finance department. Then you have the COO, we call the Chief Operational Officer. Is going to be in charge of the operations of the organization. We have the CTO, the Chief Technical Officer, who is going to be in charge of every technology or technical activity in the organization. We have the CMO, the Chief Managing Officer, is going to be the one that will now look. So this one we are calling the CFO, chairman, and other, we can invariably refer to them as a director in that organization. Is it clear? Did you
Yes,
get
sir.
that picture?
Yes, sir.
Or is still not clear?
It's clear.
Okay, thank you. So that's the way it works in organization. So if you look at the organizational chart that we discussed before, so it's more or less like we are now treating each of them and then looking at some of the things that happens and all that. So and you know that some of these executive directors that are involved in strategic leadership, especially for their department, they make sure that they oversee different functions, different department like the marketing, the director, will make sure that it looks after the activities and all that. So and then the finance, we look at the finance, the information technology, we look at the information technology, while production, we look at production and all that. So in organizations where they don't use, like most of these new organizations that are coming up now, they don't use executive director, they just use a CFO, they just say CEO, all these fintechs, all these new companies that are coming up. That's what we have. But in other words, when you talk of CFO and all those ones, they are invariably referring to the executive director as well. You understand? Because they focus on each department in that organization. So we have the finance department, the marketing department, the directors and all that. So that's what happens. Now let's go to non-executive director. I know you've heard of this. What happened? Anolu has no more on the call. Madam, so you want to
So,
tell me something about the non-executive director? I know you've heard of it before. We have executive, we have those that are non-executive. The first time I heard about it, I think I was reading some of this is it you call it now? I was just checking one book like that, and they mentioned non-executive director and all that, and I was like, what exactly does it mean? I had to go and check it out. So you want to say something about it? Then you say
maybe try
non-executive director.
as a civil servant, we have directors and we have admin officers. We have chief admin officers. We have principal executive officers. So I think in my own understanding, when you say that someone is a non-executive officer, I think, is that the question? Non-executive officer. We have executive officers, but these ones are the ones who work under them, who are not I don't know how to
No,
put it.
you're not. When you talk of non-executive, that one has really, in fact, that's helped you enough. That means these people are not executives in that organization, and they are not involved in the day-to-day operations of the organization. So they don't. The only thing they do is they just sit on the board. You understand? They sit on the board, and then they call them non-executive director. What they do is that they act in the capacity of advisor. So they advise the company, okay, this is what you should do. This is what I think, understand. And they look at different responsibilities, and all that. And then advise the company, the board on the next thing to do. So that's what non-executive directors do. And usually they are also paid, for their services, for giving advice to the company and all that, just to move on. But they are not considered to be employee of the company. So in other words, they are part of the board. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what do you think are their roles? What are the roles of non-executive directors?
As you just explained it now. So they might be.
So the non-executive directors are more or less like, they are in between. You understand?
Yes. They are
They are
called to
not
perform specific
like an
activities in
oversight.
that
You understand?
organization.
That
Yes.
they do like an oversight work, to
Work.
check the performance review of the organization. They just look at it. No, they are not part of the executive directors, and they are
Yes.
not also fully part of the board members. Even though they are part of the board, but they are not fully. You understand? So
And they
what
are not in
happens
the
is that
payroll of that organization.
they are not in payroll, exactly. They are not employee. They just pay them maybe like a compensation or something, or give them some. I don't know. There's something they call it that they pay. For their services. For advising. So what they do is that they try to look at the overall performance of the organization. They try to review it and check what is happening, what are the things going on, and all that. You understand? And then they
Yes,
can
sir.
also they can step aside, from being an executive director that runs their daily activity. Then they can see from afar. So, in other words, they will be more or less like important when it comes to strategic direction in the organization. They can
Decision
see,
making.
yeah, they can see from afar and say, okay, can we do this? Can we do that? The organization is not doing this at this time. Can we look at this? Can we look at that? You understand? So
Yes,
now,
sir.
so let's go on. Any other function that you think non-executive director also carry out?
Mm. Not for now, sir.
You have to know. You have to know. Read. Go and read more about it. Mm?
Okay, sir.
Please, it's
Okay,
very
sir.
important. You have to go and read more about it.
Okay,
Uh,
sir.
when it comes to connection, like connecting people, there are some people you can put on as your non-executive director because of their influence. The
Influence.
influence in
Okay.
the community, full influence in the. You can bring one king, and to come and be a non-executive because he has influence among people. He has
Influence.
connection. He has network, and you need
Mm.
people to actually support your organization. So people like this in this capacity can actually
Will
connect your company
attract.
with
Yes.
can connect your company with dignitaries in the organization.
Mm.
I mean, in the community or in the state or whatever. Did you get that?
Yes, sir.
So more or
This is
less like
very clear.
the non-executive directors try to represent the organization outside the company. So when it comes to
Can you use
engagement,
can you
interacting with
use
people,
this word ombudsman? Can you use it for them?
ombudsman.
Yes.
Ombudsman
They're
is,
like a middleman between the organization and the public.
but when you say ombudsman,
Yes.
what you are actually talking about, I won't say is in that capacity, but ombudsman
Okay.
too is also, you understand, that's a good one. They also help
Mm.
in organization and all that.
Mm.
But if you want to
Yes.
call them that, well, it's also more or less like they are also independent. The ombudsman is also independent, and
Mm.
what they actually do is that they try to uh, investigate that company or maybe any complaint, either from the
Mm.
customers or whatever, but not
Yes.
acting in the capacity of an executive. You understand?
Mm. Yes,
So
sir.
what they do is that they try to, maybe if their complaints are coming, maybe from your
Mm.
customers and all that, they go out
Mm.
to go and meet those people, discuss with them, get information and all that, and then they come back to the
Bring
company to
feedback,
report.
feedback to the
So they are not
organization.
executives. They are not.
Okay.
We can't call them non-executive directors.
Non-executives. Okay.
Yes, we can't. We can't. Or let me ask my Aya professional colleague. Hello, sir. Are you there?
Hello, doctor.
So can you help us shed more light?
You are correct by saying you can't call the non-executive ombudsman because they
Yes.
don't actually interact with the public per se. They are limited in their interaction with the public. What they do is mainly in the organization. They are not
Okay.
even known. It is the executive, the executives that are actually the ones that interact with the public on daily basis and the rest. So the ombudsman, like you said, are mostly like a middleman between the public and the organization. And
exactly.
one of the things they do is they serve the public more than the organization, while the non-executive serve the executive solely by giving them ideas and helping them in the performance of their duties.
Exactly.
So I think you are correct, and that is the clear line between them.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so let's go. I think who will be can you still see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Because I can't even see. Is this still showing the assignment?
It's showing independent I think the last now is independent non-executive director.
Non-executive directors. Okay.
Yes.
So independent non-executive directors. So let's discuss that. When you say independent non-executive directors, what are you referring to? You know, before we were talking about non-executive directors. Now they are not independent. So when you say independent non-executive directors, what is their role in an organization?
I think these ones, I think they are not answerable to the executives.
Okay.
When you say they are independent, they are not answerable to the executives. Another one, in my own understanding, they don't report to the executive. They don't fall back or report back to the executive. I don't know. As
okay.
Will I say that they are the master on their own? I don't know how to put it. There's a way, there's this understanding, but I don't know how to connect it and add it up to make
like all these big companies. If you if you get to relate with some of them and get some of these beer brokers and all that, you will see some of these terminologies there. When you are reading those things, you will see executive directors, you will see non-executive directors, you will see independent non-executive directors. So those independent non-executive directors usually they perform an oversight role, especially things that has to do with ethical conduct in an organization, holding management accountable and all that. There's one case that happened recently. I don't know if you've heard of it. There's a that has to do with pay stack, and then there's one of I think their CTO that was sacked. That was towards the end of last year, and they were trying to find out what actually happened because they implicated him in the issue of affairs and all that, with a lady. At times somebody told me that it's not even a lady, that is a cat and all. So I was like confused. I didn't even understand what was going on anymore. So like this kind of situation, the independent non-executive directors will step in and they will be able to investigate this
The matter.
misconduct and be able to see, okay, is it true? They can, invite the two people and then try to get information from them to see who is accountable and all that. You understand? So, more or less like they perform a strategic oversight role in an organization. They review a lot of things. They monitor performance in organization, and they're also involved, with risk management. So those are some of the things that they do. That usually, like the name mentioned, independent. So they are independent. So the only thing is that they provide their own independent perspective to the board and tell that this is the way things should be and this is what should be done in an organization. So this will now give the board, information in making decision based on their findings. Is that clear? So that's that. So do we still have anything on the assignment that we need to still discuss? Okay, I think that's all.
That's the last one.
Yes, that's the last one. So let's any question? If there's any question, please bring it up. Let's discuss. At least now that we have two now. From tomorrow, I might need to step up the game and then be a little bit fast so that we'll be covered enough before because by once we enter March now, we have March and April, and the exam is in May. So we need to make sure that we still have time, at least 8 weeks. That's the goal. And then maybe the second or third week, maybe third week in May. So like 8 plus, we still have like 10 to 11 weeks. So that's still okay. We'll still cover. So any question? Any question? Oh yeah, now, madam. Anolua, any question?
No, sir.
Okay. Madam, any question?
Do the
If you have questions,
committee members, do they have boundaries?
do they have
Committee boundaries?
boundaries? Sure. Now
Yes,
they will
sir.
have boundaries.
Okay.
The only thing is that the boundary might be different from each other.
Okay.
So there are some things that their own is just to make suggestions and say, oh, so, present to the board and all that. The board will still have the final say. They cannot impose their decisions or maybe their
On the
findings
board.
or maybe they can't impose it on the board. So their own is just to make recommendations and then say, okay, this is what we think you should do. This is what to move the organization forward. So once they present it, then the board will
Thank
sit.
you, sir.
Yes, the board will sit and then decide. Okay, any other question?
No, sir.
Okay, so thank you very much. So tomorrow by 7 p.m. we'll be meeting. Please, it's not 7:30. 7 p.m. So 7 p.m. tomorrow, we'll continue our discussion. And this one, I will share with Olga. And so if you can just go over it again. And even, but we don't have the group yet. So I will just share with him. So maybe he can share with you once they send the Zoom asset and then go from there. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone, and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, send it to the group.
Okay, to the group. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, sir.
The group platform. I'll pick it from there.
Okay, sir, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. It has been a wonderful time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.